Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michelle and this is Shells Bits and Pieces, where you'll find a little bit of everything all in one place. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today is Sunday and it's been a little while since I posted any content. For those of you who have been following the channel, you know that I had some surgery about 3.5 weeks ago, and this last week I did finally go back to work. So that's kind of why I'm lacking in content, for lack of a better word. So today I thought it would be fun to do some collaging and just chit chat and just kind of see what happens. I did create a couple of collages not too long ago. This one I actually did earlier today. And some of the paper that I have are actually scans of fabric that I scanned into my computer and then printed. And then I had all of these scraps left from another project that I did a few years back. So I thought, you know what, why not use this? And then we can kind of segue this into a Valentine's Day project in February. So I'm gonna hold this off to the side. We're gonna do something a little bit more Christmassy and winter holiday kind of themed. So I have I haven't done very many collages. I've done these two and I've did a few others, but collaging's kind of an art more than a science, I think, and it really doesn't have any rhyme or reason, and you can use pretty much anything you have. I do have these two Christmas winter type of pads of paper that I thought would be really fun to work with today. And I've also got a piece of junk mail that we're going to use as our base. So when you get these card things in the mail advertising everything, hang on to a few of them because you can definitely use them to craft with. And that's what we're going to do today. And as a matter of fact, on these collages, this one here I did on a book page. And then I just put some paper on the back, and this will eventually be cut up into tags. And then this one, like I said, these were papers that I had created a while back. Some of them are from paper packs. These I made from fabric scans, like I said, that has a rubber stamp on it. And then I just kind of put some lined paper on the back so we can make tags out of these as well. So today I thought it would be fun, like I said, to do some wintry, Christmassy kind of stuff. So we're just going to go through here, and I have some scraps, but I thought, I don't think I have enough scraps to really do a cool collage. I'm not sure if there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. I'm just going to do it. So let's just get started. So the first thing we want to do is pick out maybe 6 or 7 different patterns and see how they go. I'm okay with pulling papers out of these paper pads. That really doesn't bother me because I do have so much paper. Oh my gosh. I should do a tour of my craft room. I have a lot, and I do find a lot in the bins, and you guys know this, but these I actually bought at Hobby Lobby, and they were 50% off, so I paid less than $7 after tax for both of these pads, so that was pretty cool. I'm not sure which one I want to go with, though. I mean, this one's a little more whimsical, and this one's a little more, like it says, old world. I think I want to do this one today, and then maybe we can do another one if we have time. I don't know that we'll have time because for some reason the collage I did earlier this morning took me a lot longer than I expected. So yeah, I guess just getting back into the swing of things, but I wanted to come on and just share a couple new ideas with you, and I have a couple other ideas for some other videos I'm gonna put together a little bit later on today, so those will be coming out soon. All right, so I said we're gonna pick maybe 6 or 7 different kinds of different designs to see what we like. And in this particular paper pack, it has 3 designs. 3 sheets of each design, and I believe there was 16 designs? 16 designs, 3 each. And these are 6 by 6, and we're gonna cut these down, maybe not with scissors, maybe with a straight edge ruler. I think that seems to get me the best results, because when I cut, I'm a little shaky. I don't know if it's caffeine from my coffee, but I do get a little shaky when I try to cut with scissors. I'm not a great fussy cutter anymore. I used to do really well when I was younger, but anymore it's just not it's not my thing. So there's some really pretty designs, and I don't even have a color scheme in mind, so I think we're gonna just create that as we go. And if you notice that there's only 2 of these, it's because I used a sheet of this on another project, and that project came out okay. I'm not sure I like the way I did it, so I'm probably not going to share that one right away, but I'll make a few more of them and see how it goes. It was like a folio journal, and I didn't like the way mine came out, so I'll probably do something maybe in the new year with different designs. You know, because Christmas is going to be here and gone before we know it, and Christmas crafts are probably going to need to start kind of taking a back seat to, you know, New Year stuff with other designs and things. So I don't know, there's a lot of pretty paper here. I don't know, guys. Ooh, I like him. I think we're going to use this one, definitely. So I'll pull this one out. And there was a few back of, you know, in this part that I thought I might like, but I really like this one. We can go with an old world theme with some muted colors. This is kind of vintage looking. I think that that would be really cool. And then once we do the collage, if there's time, we can make some tags too. So let's just find some paper that we like. This might take me a minute because I'm one of those people that's just very indecisive. Let's see. Oh, I like this one. I'll take one of these. I think that'll go good because we want to use papers that are going to coordinate and, you know, be similar in style and color. I don't want to go with like a red and then a bright purple and a neon green or anything like that. That's not what we're going to do today. We're going to make this look as vintage as we can. And I like this one too. So there's 3. So we'll go back and we'll find like 3 or 4 more that we like that work with this color palette. And this is more of a brown and like a rusty red and some cream colors. Maybe we could throw in a little green for some contrast. I don't know, what do you guys think about this one? I think we could work with that. All right, we'll pull that one, that's 4. A couple more. Oh yes, this one. This one actually will go with a lot of different colors, so I think we'll pull this one. And this one's already collaged, but we're gonna collage the collage. I don't know. I had an interesting week going back to work. Not gonna lie, I kind of wished I'd had another week at home, but you know, I kind of need to pay my bills, so that's really one of the main reasons I went back to work as quick as I did. I probably could have milked it for another week, but it's not my style because I was getting a little cabin fever here, and I needed to get out. And I did go out and do a little bit of shopping and stuff while I was off towards the end of my break of being off. But, you know, I don't know. I've got to find a better way to make money and not have to go to any place to do it. All right, so what we're gonna start with, we've got our papers, and I'm gonna have to like trim these down into strips and squares and things so that we can kind of fill in, and then we'll just put them down. Now what you're gonna need as supplies, I guess I should have said that first, huh? You'll need some kind of base. It doesn't have to be junk mail, but you know, junk journals are supposedly to be made of junk. That's how they originated. And then they've evolved into just these unbelievably beautiful pieces of art that people create. And I'm trying to be part of that too. So anyway, back to the supplies. So you'll need some kind of base. Like I said, it could be a piece of junk mail. It could be a piece of paper. It could be a piece of cardstock. It could be a paper bag. It could be whatever you have. Don't feel like you have to run out and go buy anything. And if you are using what you have, you can use magazines, pages, cutouts of things, you know, pictures and stuff. It doesn't have to be paper that's already printed on. I mean, you can just let your imagination go wild. I'm even considering doing a collage with paper napkins down the road because I really like the paper napkin crafts that I have put out and put together previously. And I think that there's definitely some potential with those. So before I keep getting off track. Okay, so you need a base. You'll need some kind of papers, magazine pages, whatever you have. Book pages are good, even coffee dyed paper or just colored paper, whatever you've got. And then you'll need some sort of glue. I'm terrible with glue sticks. For some reason, when I run the glue stick, the paper gets all jammed up and mangled up, and so I'm not gonna use glue sticks. I'm gonna use Mod Podge. my trusty jar of Mod Podge that you know where I got it, and it's still quite full. So we're going to just use this today as our glue, but we're not going to go over the top of the paper like we have with the paper napkins because we don't need to. This will work as a nice glue, and then if we have any shiny spots maybe down the road or later, we can go over them with like a light coat of gesso or something. There's so many options and ways to play with these that it's just, you know, use your imagination and let your craft to your heart's content. As Pam from the Paper Outpost would say, create with reckless abandon. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so to get started, we're going to need some strips or some scraps or whatever. And I do have some other scraps here that I might pull from that could potentially work as filler pieces. We'll hold these off to the side though until we see what we do with these. So you can start wherever you like. Some people prefer to start at a corner or on a side or at the top or in the middle. It doesn't matter. You start where you want to start, where you're most comfortable. And it's basically just kind of glue and stick until you get the whole thing covered. And then on the back side, you can cover it with something so that there's writing space. Because these collages, when you do tags, you want the pretty stuff on one side and then you want people to be able to journal or write on the other side. So that's what we're going to do. And I do have some lined paper and things that we can use to do that with as well. So we're going to just get started. Let's see. And, you know, I don't know if there's a specific way that you're supposed to collage, if you're supposed to do like a focal point or something like that. I think we're going to use this as our first one and maybe plop them in the middle and just piece around as we go. So I'm going to push this over here for just a moment while we get some strips of paper going. And I'm just using a thin metal ruler. It has a really nice straight edge. It's sharp, but it's not sharp. I mean, if you go like that, you're not going to cut yourself. But when you pull paper through it, it tears really nicely and gives you a nice clean edge. So that's what we're going to do. And you want to make sure you hold it down all the way as you pull your strips, because that is going to help reinforce as you're tearing the paper. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason. You don't have to have any specific size. You can be crooked. You can do it however you like. So, you know, just let your mind roam wild and just create with reckless abandon. So I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. I found earlier when I was doing the one with the pinks and the paper that I had made from the fabric scans. I started in the corner and I was putting the Mod Podge down on the piece of mail, and then I realized as I was going that I would need to maybe start putting the Mod Podge on the actual paper because I was getting kind of weird results. So you can do it however you want. Just kind of work with it and see what you get. And yeah. So I'm just going to plop him right in the middle. And for these first few, I'm probably just going to put the Mod Podge down on the background base or whatever. And you'll want to push it down just a little bit. This paper is actually a little bit thicker than what I was using on the other one. This is a heavier, it's not cardstock, but it's not super thin. So. And if you're worried about being able to see what's behind the paper from the mail, you could actually go over it with a light coat of gesso or some acrylic paint or something before you do your gluing. It's really just a matter of preference. But if the paper's thick enough, you shouldn't see anything bleed through. So we've got him on there. And moving forward, I'm probably going to Mod Podge the backs of the papers. So let's get a couple more going, and then I'll try to speed through and let you kind of see how this builds. Maybe we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's not going to take that long though, because this piece is a lot smaller than the other one, and I'm going to use a little bit bigger of pieces. That was something else I was thinking about as I was doing the first one. I was using small pieces, and of course smaller pieces, when you're gluing them together, take a little bit longer to fill in all of the empty spots. And as you're collaging, you really don't have to do it in any sort of great order or anything. The only thing I would recommend if you're going to use Mod Podge, get a style that's not glossy. This one that I have is glossy, and that's why I'm kind of not real thrilled about putting too much on the background card, because when you do that, sometimes there's overlap and then you get little shiny spots, and I think I have a couple on here that are a little shiny. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bit of shine. Yep, there's the shiny spot right there. And really it doesn't matter. It's more of a personal preference, and for me, I don't want that shine on here. If I did, I would have just covered the whole thing in Mod Podge. So basically all we're going to do is just build this and see how we turn out, and hopefully it'll turn out pretty. So I do want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you finding the channel. I'm not sure how you found us, but I'm glad that you're here, and hitting that subscribe button, because that's a real integral part of how YouTube works, and helps you find us and helps us create more content that is something that you guys out there want to see. And if there's a craft or a project that you think that I might be able to put together, and you're interested in seeing how somebody else does something or whatever, please feel free to reach out. I do have an email. It's shellsbitsandpieces@gmail.com, and you could certainly send me a message and tell me what you're thinking, and we could maybe work something out to where I can film some content based on your thoughts and ideas. Sorry, I have to take my sweater off. It's a little warm in here. Although we did get quite a bit of snow Friday night, and the place was just covered, and it was really actually very pretty. I should have taken some pictures, but I didn't, unfortunately, of how pretty the snow was. It snowed at night, so during the evening, when I looked out the window, I did notice that it just looked like one of those winter street paintings that you see. I think it's maybe Currier and Ives or something from way back when, had done a lot of winter scenes and stuff, and it was just so pretty to see the street just all white. It was just, and it was nighttime, so it was just really, really beautiful. And I like winter as long as I don't have to go out in it. I'm a Florida girl, and these winters are really getting to me. I'm actually thinking about maybe selling my house and going back at some point as I get a little bit older, because I'm a single woman. I don't have a husband. I do have my children, but they're grown, and they've got their own lives. I don't expect them to follow me around my whole life, so I would hope they wouldn't. But I'm getting older, and the winters are getting a little harder, and I'm contemplating and kind of thinking about what's going to be best for me moving forward. And I really like the beach. I haven't been there since we moved here. We moved to Colorado 6 years ago, next week actually, and I do miss the beach. I miss going to Disney World. That was one of my favorite things to do, was to go to Disney World. And, there's a lot of content creators now that use Disney World as their focus, and they do, videos documenting their day at Disney, and there's hundreds of them. Disney has just gotten a lot of popularity from vloggers and influencers, and I don't necessarily want to be an influencer at Disney World, but I did go there a lot. I feel like my expertise and experience from when I lived in Florida was fantastic. I thought I knew everything about Disney, and then so much has changed. And as the years have gone by, and since I'm not living there anymore, it's things have definitely gotten different. The world's definitely a different place than it was even 5 years ago. But enough about that. And then, I went back, as you guys know, I had surgery. I just said that. And I did go back to work on on Monday. And, you know, it was a pretty quiet week. It's been a little slow, but then, of course, on Friday there was some drama. And I don't know how I feel about that. So, I don't know. Do you guys deal with office drama in your lives? Or have you had it and, you know, do you just kind of ignore it? Or do you say something? Because I'm kind of in the middle on that. It's like, you know, just like anything else, really. Do I want to deal with an issue that's really not something that's my problem, or do I want to address it and make it go away? It's just, yeah, so I don't know. As I get older, I'm less tolerant of just things that are negative and absurd. And that's really all it was some absurdity, and, you know, people just getting their feelings hurt. And it was nothing I did, because I hadn't been there for almost 3 weeks, but apparently whatever it was came to a head at some point and somebody had something to say about it. So I don't know. Thankfully it was at the end of the day and it wasn't anything terrible, but just, you know, just basic office drama. So I'm just going to build this and continue to build it. And while I'm building it, yeah, I'll just go silent for a little while, continue building it. I'll speed it up so that it's not dragging out and slow. And then that way you guys can, we can talk about how to do the back of it, and maybe we'll cut this up and make some text. Okay, we're down to our last square, and yeah, hopefully that wasn't too painful. It does take a long time to just fill in a page. That's why I wanted to go with a smaller piece of mail, because if you do a huge master board, it's very time consuming, and I was trying to make this video as short as I possibly could. I don't know if that's going to be the case today, but in any case, I'm going to find something off of this particular one, I think, to fill in this last spot here. I already have a bell, and I don't have any of these children, I don't think, so maybe they'll fit in there pretty well. I'm just gonna, and I am gonna cut with scissors on this one, just because this one's in the middle, and I'm not sure how much of it I'm gonna need. So let's cut it out and see what we get. And yeah, I think that'll work. I'll cut some of the top of it off so we can keep the kids playing in the snow, because, you know, snow's fun in the wintertime, as long as you don't have to go anywhere. Like I said before, I'm not really feeling the winter right now, and it's been pretty cold. I'm just going to leave that. I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot more snow this year than we've had in past years since I've lived here. they were saying something on the weather about the El Nino coming back through. And, you know, I heard about it when I lived in Florida, and I still don't know what an El Nino winter is in comparison to a La Nina. I know one's really, really extreme and the other one's not so much. So other than that, I couldn't tell you which one was which. And if you guys have been following along, you probably have noticed that I've got some Mod Podge on the front. So I'm just trying to wipe it off as best I can so that it's not too shiny. And then I can go back through and just double check my corners, make sure that they're pretty secure. I should probably get a smaller paintbrush, but I think I can put just a little bit underneath and be okay. So there is the front, and it is gonna require a little more tacking down, but I think we'll be okay with what we're doing today. And I'm just gonna push some of this stuff off to the side, and you can kind of see that, yeah, I do have some overhang, and I'm gonna trim that off. And I think I'll wait and do that after I get the paper that I'm gonna put on the back. All right, so I am going to decide what I want to put on the back. And I do have a couple of sheets of older coffee dyed paper that I did a few years back. And actually this one I think is probably going to be the best one. And we could draw lines, we could rubber stamp lines. I think that I'm just going to glue this down to the whole back side rather than doing strips and whatnot. Because when we cut it, they'll have nice clean edges on one side as opposed to being collage, and then the collage will be on this side. So yeah, let's just do that. So I'm going to cover the back completely in Mod Podge, and then I'm just going to figure out before I do that where I want to start this. And it's luckily enough, oh, we're very close. I may have to trim down the edges just a little bit, but this is perfectly centered. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so it's got a little bit of an edge here that I will have to trim, and then maybe not so much on that side. So I think we'll use this side of this book page. I mean, this piece of coffee dyed paper. It's not a book page. And then we'll just trim off the other side and use it for a future project. So let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. And I am working on a non-stick silicone mat today. It helps to keep the glue at bay, and it will just wipe right off with a baby wipe. So, and yeah, I've been getting Mod Podge all over my fingers and my hands. So. But it's okay. Crafting's a messy business. You know, if you're a neat crafter, you're not doing it right. Actually, that's not true. I have seen many crafters that are very neat and tidy as they go through, and they do make some beautiful pieces. So I can't really say that that if you're not making a mess, you're not doing it right. For me, that's kind of how I feel. If I'm not making a mess, I'm not doing it right. So I'm just gonna spread this, and you know, you can be generous. It will dry, and we won't have to worry about too much shininess getting on this because it's just going to get stuck down. And yeah, so just make sure you got oh gosh, I can't speak. Make sure you've got enough Mod Podge on the corners and the edges so that it will stick. And you want to work pretty quickly because it looks like my stuff's already drying on me. Which side did I want? This side. Guess it doesn't matter, and just line it up and stick it down, and that will be that. And then we'll do the trimming of the edges, and we'll make sure everything's secure. I'll probably have to put a little bit more Mod Podge on the edges, but we'll wait to do that until we trim it. And then this is what you end up with. I'm going to cut this extra piece off here. Sorry about that paintbrush stick. Oh, you guys know my filming's not the best. I do what I can. I try my best, and then, you know, either we pass or we fail, right? And then this will just need to dry. There are little air bubbles in there, and you can push them out. I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. So I'm going to clean up and then trim this down, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we have got a nice trimmed piece of collage board that we can pretty much make anything we want with. I think for this one, I want to make some tags, but I think I'm going to cut the video a little short and we'll come back and make tags in another video because it's getting a little long and I do have other things that I need to get done this afternoon. But I do want to say thank you so much to you guys for joining me in making this cute little Christmassy vintage style collage board. And we're not going to call it a master board because it's small, so we're going to call it a collage board using junk journal supplies or using junk mail. I think using junk mail is the better way to put it. So with that, I'm going to cut this a little short for today, but I will be back, and next time we're going to make tags out of this particular board. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed recently, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I am on a mission to build my channel to, we're going to start with our first milestone of 1,000 viewers and subscribers, and then work our way up from there. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I think I'm going to do a cool little giveaway or something. I'm kind of tossing that around in my brain, so keep that in mind for future reference. But until next time, guys, thanks so much. Please remember to like, comment, share, and if you have not already, please consider subscribing. And we will see you next time. Bye.